hello. Another month, another wrap up. However, again, I feel like I've been a little bit slumping because, the good old mental health. Anyway, because I've been slumping, I've been sort of getting back into groove of other things, so I feel like I should just mention some other favorites of the month, just so that it doesn't look like I spend my time laying on the floor staring at the ceiling. I promise I don't do that for like half an hour every day. Anyway, I went and saw The Addams Family at the theater with my friend Colleen, and that was phenomenal. We got our seats upgraded, so we were hella in the front. Was well nice. I've started watching The Bold Type, and that's just one of the single best decisions that I've made in my life. Now, I know you could argue that I don't usually make very good choices in life as a person, but still, this show is just phenomenal. I saw someone make a great video about why you should watch it. I will link that down below. But also, you can just take my word for it, What else? I've been rewatching Wonder Woman and Spider-Man in cinemas, and that's just amazing. Obviously, Wonder Woman Warbringer is coming out today, so I'm gonna go out and buy it right after this video. Anyway, bit off track. Now, the first one, I haven't seen too many people gush about around BookTube, but it's Asking for It by Louise O'Neill. My friend Colleen has been at me to read this book for years. I wish I was exaggerating, but I'm pretty sure ever since we've met, she's been at me to read this. She did get me to read Louise O'Neill's Only Ever Yours, which is sort of a YA Handmaid's Tale. I have a review, I shall link it down below. My eyeliner was super dodgy in that video. But anyway, this one is about party girl, eat girl, whatever. And I feel like I need to throw right here a big trigger warning for sexual assault, rape, all of that. You can just sort of figure out what happens. So this is basically a social analysis, much to Louise O'Neill's fashion. If you don't follow her on Twitter, quality content you should. Feminist right there, a babe. Anyway, so the book is super heavy. It's very thought-provoking. It's very gut-wrenching. The character, our protagonist, is so unlikable, which adds so much more depth and dimension to the story, because it makes you check your biases and if said bias affects your view of what happened to her, because it does for a lot of the characters in this, and it's very heavily focused on victim blaming and slut shaming as well, so trigger warning for that too, but it's a phenomenal read. I would say 10 out of 5 stars, because I'm still thinking about it every now and again, and it's just a masterpiece. Louise O'Neill has 2 books coming out next year. Also, I went to a V Schwab event in Dublin this month. It was phenomenal. I love her. But I felt like I needed to read a little bit more of her stuff before I went. And also this book has been sitting on my shelf for a hot minute, so I finally put myself together and read Our Dark Duet. This is the second and final installment in the Monsters of Verity series. Gotta throw some shameless self-promo out there and say that I have a review, spoiler-free of course, for the first book in the series, The Savage Song, because it's one of my favorite books of last year, and honestly all time. This series is up there, man. It's basically set in a dystopian-esque type society where the city is split into, and there's monsters that are sort of brought up by monstrous acts committed by humans, and it's super deep and super dark, and our protagonists are basically like a Slytherin and a Hufflepuff, which is all I need in life. And this is very interesting because it sort of switches the places in the world of said protagonists. Like, it's the mirror image of what we've had in the first book, and it's just I don't have words. It tore my heart out of my chest, which is always a great thing, so I would highly, highly recommend this. Also, I believe that was my very first time reading a book featuring a non-binary character, so props for that. Then, because of said slump and like life being a little bit, here and there, I picked up the audiobooks for the whole Chaos Walking series from my library, because that's a thing you can do in the 21st century. And I know I'm like 8 years late to the party. Tom Holland is starring in a movie. They also have Daisy Ridley and Nick Jonas. So that's a thing that I'm looking forward to. But the books themselves, I've been reading quite a few books by Patrick Ness. I believe I've read like 3 authors. Yeah. So I knew he was good, but this is just, man, this is out there. This is fucking amazing. It's sort of a sci-fi-esque series focusing about this kid called Todd that lives in a world where all men have this thing called noise. So basically all their thoughts and whatnot are broadcasted into the world, and it's super intriguing and super weird, and the concept is just very thought-provoking. Apparently that's my favorite word, but yes, it is. And mainly this book just like made me want to pull out a shirt that says, "I hate men," except I would need to get that shirt made first. So, a bit more work than anticipated. But overall, the world building is just phenomenal. The series in itself is very focused on politics, and there's this sort of discussion-y thing regarding morality, and it's just so good. And the narrator is quite great as well, because I don't think I could have properly imagined the accents and whatnot. It's just a really, really solid read, and I would recommend you read it, especially if you want to see the film. I'm super curious to see it now, because it looks like they've aged everyone up a notch, so. Then I was just really, really feeling nonfiction at some point this month, so I've asked for some recommendations on Twitter, and I think it was Leanne, I shall link her Twitter and channel down below, who told me she really loved Girls Will Be Girls by Emer O'Toole. Hopefully it did not butcher the author's name, but who knows. Yeah, I've also seen her mention this on her channel a couple of times, I believe. And I remember it just appealing to me ever since, because I did have it marked as one to read on Goodreads. So I just immediately requested it from my library. This is basically a collection of essays and whatnot about gender performance, performative gender and whatnot. Is just very phenomenal. Again, very thought-provoking, because that's the thing I say. That's just what I like to read, okay? Please do not shame me. I think a lot, so might as well use that thinking for something useful. So yeah, this is just super, super good. It does touch up a lot on feminism, which Lord knows I'm here for. It's just a really great read, and I would recommend it if you're looking for something like this. Great introduction to feminist nonfiction, if you feel like, I don't know. And as usual, I did read a few graphic novels. Bad Girl Volume 2, Family Business. I now need to wait for Volume 3 for a long, long time. I read Miles Morales, The Ultimate Spider-Man. Was a little bit confused about some things that happened in this. I'm not even sure this is the original Miles Morales. Comic books are very, very confusing. This is not the origin story though, so that had me a little bit confused, I've also read She-Hulk Volume 1. The artwork in this is horrendous, but the story is pretty dang great, and I do love She-Hulk an awful lot, okay? I've also realized I forgot to mention it last month when I actually did listen to it, but I also took out the audiobook for Go Set a Watchman. That's the one by Harper Lee. That's like the sequel companion thing to Kill a Mockingbird, which I did love back when I first read it. Except now, looking back, I do know it's a good book. I'm just a bit weary of it because of the social aspect. Sad, the thing that bothered me most in this book is that we get to see racism through the prism of sort of a white savior, just a white lady who thinks she knows best. And well, appreciate it, you're not a racist like the rest, or at least the vast majority of other characters in this book. Nah. I only really took the book out because it was narrated by Reese Witherspoon, who did a phenomenal job, but overall, just man, did not work for me, which is kind of sad. Also, I did like that we got to see sort of a more humanized, demythicized, is that a word? Version of Atticus. However, sad version of Atticus kind of made me perceive him as a bigot, so that's always great, always. Isn't it just phenomenal when you realize characters you like are dicks? Great, living, love life. And I also got from the library, except I had to take it back. In the meantime, Truth Witch by Suzanne Dennard. It was so fucking good. And you'll call it, it's basically high fantasy, heavily focused on badass female characters. If that's not what I'm about in life, I need to chill. Okay. It was a little bit hard to get through for the first 60 pages or so. But then again, I was slumping, so that was a thing. But the focus it has on platonic relationships and the importance it gives them is just something that speaks to my soul. It's just something I was very much there for. So overall, it's just such a fucking amazing book. Anyway, please do let me know if you've read any of these books, or what your favorite book of the month was, or, you know, the spiel I should go. I probably missed the bus for once, but I feel like walking to the bookstore to look for Wonder Woman. Yeah, September is gonna be off to a great start.